So in making this movie, you actually got to spend time with the guy whose story you helped tell.
Mm-hmm.
Was there one particular scene or one particular line that you felt was very important to get right?
Absolutely. Well, I mean, I think there's a huge responsibility for all of us to get everything right. But when I met Jack, the thing that was so unbelievable to me is how open he was. And he was open about ask any questions you can. Don't worry about how it impacts me emotionally. Just let's get the story out and let's get it right. But one of the things that actually I took directly from conversations with him and talked to Michael about putting in the movie was that rooftop scene where I'm talking about why I'm conflicted about why I keep coming back. And what that was is based on a conversation I had with Jack where I said, you know, when you guys got the call and decided to go in, what did you think about with your family? And he said, I didn't think about my family, which of course my first reaction was like, oh, that's awful. And then you realize that's not at all what he's saying. It's not awful at all. He's so programmed to sacrifice himself for the protection of us and other people that he will put everything else aside, including his family. So then only when he was up on the rooftop and had time to breathe, did he start thinking about his family, and that's all he could think about. But that to me is why this story is so important, because these are true heroes. These are not superheroes. We have plenty of superhero movies. It's good to have one about real heroes. And also to help us all understand when we say we support the troops, what we're really saying. Really understand that sacrifice that they're making.
Absolutely. And it's funny you bring up that scene because I felt like Jack really came full circle at the end when the guys are all talking about what do we get out of this?
Yes.
What we did here.
Yeah.
And he says, we get to go home.
Right.
So what did that line mean to you?
Well, it meant a whole lot. I mean, one of the things that really connected me to the script when I read it was Jack's a guy who's conflicted about whether or not he should be going into these places and continuing to go back at all because he has a family at home. And I just had a daughter less than 2 years before we shot, or she's less than 2 years old now. So I really related to, what would that be to have to leave them behind? And God forbid I ever got, lost and, I was taken away from them. That would be pretty awful. So for me, that's really nice that you say it all came full circle for you on that phone call, because to me that phone call was always what I was trying to achieve at the end of the day. I was trying to play the two worlds of being true to his fellow brothers that he was in battle with, but also be true to his family. And I think being caught in between those two is tough. It's a tough place to live.
Definitely. This is sort of a fun one. What is something that nobody knows about John Krasinski?
What is something that nobody knows about John Krasinski? That's interesting. I was going to say lip syncing, but now everybody knows about that. I have a habit of that. I don't know. Jen, what's something that nobody knows about me? Jen's a good friend of mine.
Just putting you on the spot.
Perfect.
I know. I don't know if I should tell people.
Oh, yeah, don't tell anybody.
Yeah, I don't think I should.
I don't know. What people don't know about me? I'm a terrible person.
You're
No.
a good gift buyer. Yes,
I'm a good
you
gift
are.
buyer.
Oh, a good gift buyer.
I buy good gifts. I think them out.
You like go on Pinterest and you stalk people's accounts?
Nope, it's all up here. I just think about it, and then I decide what people need. Or want. Nobody needs it. I mean, come on.
Awesome.
That's what we want, rather than need.
What is something that you think will surprise everybody after seeing this movie?
I think something that will surprise everybody is how little they knew about the situation. I think, again, it's so highly politicized. It's been covered in the media so much that people think they know what it is. And I think it'll be really interesting to see how people react to the original story and what actually happened. So for me, I think what will shock people, and another thing, a much more specific thing that I think will shock people, or at least I hope will, is how quickly things got out of hand and how quickly things changed, and how when things changed in that particular moment, it was life and death. And I think that that's really interesting. I don't think people know the timeline of what happened at what point. So these guys were under a tremendous amount of strain, and they were living through a nightmare.
And as we wrap up, what was working on this film with Michael Bay like?
Michael Bay he's a singular director. What he does is something that nobody else does, and I think he knows that. And I think that that's really a great thing for an actor to work with a director that confident. Because what that confidence brings is a safety for the actors to know that you can give it all you got and step out of your comfort zone a whole lot, because he's going to take care of you, because he has the movie all shot in his head, which is true. He actually told us that, at a read-through before we went shooting, he said, I basically shot the whole movie in my head. I already know what it looks like. Now I just got to put it on camera. And we thought he was kidding. So we said, how is it? And he said, it's really good and it's really emotional. So the fact that this is the movie he knew he was going to make before we even started shooting I mean, that's just impressive. Those are the people you want to work with.
And real quick, that contact lens scene, is that something that actually happened?
It is. It's a real scene, and it was one of the things that when I talked to Jack, he was most terrified about, because truly he couldn't see without it. And so those are the little things that will I think will help connect the audience to how real these guys are. They're not. They're certainly not superheroes that can't be touched. They can be touched in a whole lot of ways.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.